everyone, I'm the Vacuuminator.
I'm Buster.
And this week in Toku, we're going to be discussing some promising Power Rangers news, the real O's 10th anniversary special, and the Child of the Sun. But before all that, let's get into some good housekeeping. Buster, what have you been up to this week?
Not good things. I don't know. I haven't been feeling good recently.
Damn.
Yeah, I haven't been.
That's not good thing. That's not necessarily bad things though. That's just kind of drab things.
Yeah, I want to get work done, but I keep staring at. It's like that thing about writing where you keep staring at your Google Doc and nothing happens.
That's called writer's block.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's like it should be easy for me to write this script, but it's just not coming out.
Have you watched The Thing fairly recently?
What thing?
Whatever thing you're writing about. I don't want to spoil what your video is.
Yeah, I did, a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Maybe just read about it or try and watch some other videos on it to try and get inspiration for where to start.
Unfortunately, it's a toku, so it doesn't have that many videos on it, especially good ones.
Yeah, well, that's our lot in life. We're cursed to be the only good tokusatsu content creators.
Yeah. How are you doing as one of the only two tokusatsu content creators?
It's more like 3 or 4. I like a couple people who aren't on this podcast, but
yeah.
I'm okay. It's been last week was honestly pretty fucking boring for me because I don't know if I've mentioned it on this show. I definitely talked about it on components this week, but we're in the period where summer classes are over and the students don't come for the fall semester at the school I work at until next week. So it's been really slow at work. There's almost nothing to do all day. And I've just been kind of sitting in my fucking janitor's closet watching Netflix all day, which sounds awesome, but it gets boring after about 2 days, no matter what you're watching.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I have been making some improvements in several areas of my personal life, and I'm starting to get kind of a grasp on how my next video is going to be structured. I've got a couple bits that will happen at certain points in the video in mind now.
Nice. Have you been watching The Thing?
I haven't. I've just been kind of ruminating on my thoughts of it from the first time of watching it and the general vibe. I hopefully will be able to rewatch a few episodes of it, but life is life.
It do be that way.
But you know what do be the YouTube way?
Like, comment, and subscribing to Modular Media?
Yeah, if you want to help us out here at Modular Media, you want to help this show, This Week in Toku, get popular in the YouTube algorithm, please don't forget to hit that like button. Comment down below with your thoughts on something that happened this week in Tokusatsu. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell in order to enable notifications and get every show we put out when we put it out, because it's not just This Week in Toku. There's also Modular Components, the flagship show where we just kind of hang out and shoot the shit every week. Occasionally there's a guest. And the No Prize podcast, where we discuss everything and anything relating to comics that week. It's pretty chill, vibey time. And you can also follow us for news and updates on everything we're doing at the Modular Media. And the same thing with our subreddit, r/Modular Media. So that's pretty good. Now, before we start diving into news and stuff, I do want to go ahead and just let everybody know that we're recording this on the night when the G.I. Joe His Tank HasLab is ending. And
what?
I've been F5ing it all day. There's 3 hours left as of this recording. And I've been F5ing it all day. So if I just randomly utter an expletive or just an excited yelp or something like that, that's because it hit a new insane number or something like that. Just pay that no mind, but it may happen. I'm just warning everybody.
Okay. It'd be that way sometimes. Anyway, speaking of celebrations.
Yeah, today, August 15th, when we're recording this, it is the birthday for the fictional character, Hongo Tekashi. It is not Hiroshi Fujita's birthday, but it is Hongo's birthday, the character which is still pretty cool because it's the fucking OG, Justice Grandpa. We all love him. Give him a big old cupcake made out of your love for peace and justice, and say happy birthday.
Yeah.
It's
You
just-
know, like I feel like if the last appearance we'll see of him is like quote Beyond Generations and Senki, then I think that would be a good like end for him. Just like a random thought about him. Just
It
realizing.
would be, but like I was thinking about this earlier today too. I still hold on to the pipe dream that one day we'll get like a movie or like a I guess Toei Tokusatsu fan club special. That's just like a team up between him, Godai, and Aruto. I want that to happen so bad, like with all the face actors back too.
Oh, we're not getting Godai back, but yeah.
Listen, I know what Joe Onodere or Onaga, whatever, however you fucking pronounce his last name. I know what he said. I know how he feels. But you got to remember, Hiroshi Fukujita felt that way through a lot of the Heisei era.
Good point.
And he caved. He came back for Heisei Generations, and he's popped in a bunch of times since. It could still happen. We could still get Joe back. My only fear is that it'll happen after Hiroshi Fukujita passes.
I see.
Like, because that'll be a sad day no matter what, but it would be extra sad if we never got to see Hongo and Godai on screen together.
Understandable. Like honestly, I think Kuga like there's such a raw simplicity to the character that just a really good suit actor would do. Like that it did it for me in Heisei Forever. So you know if they, but yeah, that would be pretty cool. Like to see Aruto and Fujioka like in the same room. They were in the same movie, but not in the same room
Yeah, they didn't have a whole lot of scenes together.
or any scenes together.
Oh yeah, that's right. They that needs to be remedied. That has to happen. But
Speaking of scenes put together in feature films,
Segway class. I gotta organize that shit. That's gonna happen whenever we actually have a modular summit. That's gonna be a thing.
oh dang.
I'm gonna do a whole lecture on how to properly segue into things. But let's get into the news proper and discuss the fact that international releases have been confirmed for Shin Ultraman. Releasing across 401 country cinemas nationwide in Japan, Super Eye Productions' Shin Ultraman has been a big hit. In less than 90 days, the film has been seen by over 29 million viewers, grossing over 43.8 billion yen. Recently, the film made its international premiere in July at the Fantasia Film Festival in Montreal, Canada. This was followed by 2 days later being shown as part of the New York Asian Film Festival, both of which were hugely successful, each filling up their cinema capacity. Now the film is set to be released internationally across a wide range of countries. Starting on September 1st in Singapore, Shin Ultraman will be screening across 37 countries across Asia, the Middle East, Africa, and the full list includes Singapore, Indonesia, Vietnam, Taiwan, Thailand, Laos, Mongolia, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, Hong Kong, the Philippines, Malaysia. I'm not sure. I don't recognize the next two. Buster.
I don't want to screw them up either.
Okay, basically the point here is a lot of fucking places are going to get to see Shin Ultraman before the West still. Like, there's plans. They say in this as well, they're working on getting it in Europe and North America and South America, but there's still no official announcement about that. And like, I'm happy more people are going to get to see this movie because it's reportedly very good, but I want to see this fucking movie, damn it.
Yeah, it's like the highest grossing film of Japan, like in like this year. So that's exciting.
And that's like the third time in a row Ono has done that.
Yeah, like he did it with Shin. I think he did it with Ava 3.0 plus 1.0, and then he did it with this. So that I can see some nice commercial perspectives for Shin Kamen Rider incoming. Yeah. But yeah, you know it's good. Good, more places are getting it. I'm here's the thing of why I think it's a bit like thing for Western countries. These things take time in the West because a lot of it's very like the Western Hollywood dominated. Like, if you're gonna be like, it's either gotta be a Fathom event or like a limited release, you know. So it's like they're probably like scrolling over their options and like picking one. And we know the film is subtitled because it's been in North America. So, but
And
they just
Shin Godzilla did get like the thing that really bugs me is Shin Godzilla got a Fathom events almost at the same time it came out in Japan, and I did go to that, and I was one of like 3 groups of people in my theater. But I loved it. That's like one of the best movie experiences I've ever had at a theater, just because like I got totally sucked into the movie, and that almost never happens at a theater for me.
I envy you. I envy you so hard.
Like the fucking terror I actually felt in my heart during the what's the word for it? The nuclear breath scene.
Oh, with all the
Like,
lasers in the back.
yeah, that like that was a literal pants to be darkened moment for me, and I rarely have that watching movies.
Yeah. But yeah. I just want to see Shin Ultraman. Dang it.
Yeah, please, please give us please give us lowly Americans some scraps off of your table, and like also help out our friends in Europe too.
Yeah. Just help out You're helping out everyone. Come on. Give us like something soon. I think
Like,
maybe October we might get it.
like if it's gonna take forever to get this thing, like if it's gonna be until next year to get this thing in American theaters, can we just get a Netflix drop for crying out loud?
Uh,
Uh,
I want to see that in the theater, man. Like,
Same, but like I'm starting to get to the point where I just want to see it.
yeah, fair. Speaking of Ultraman,
Uh, we have had an announcement of a new Ultraman Tiga figure from Alphamax. And if you're not familiar with that company, I don't know if we've talked about them on this show before.
never heard of them until today.
They are basically the Mezco of Japan. They have a lot of tokusatsu properties. They're 6-inch scale, but the main selling point is that they do the articulated body with a suit over it. And it's honestly that thing of like I look at these and I'm like, these are really good, but they're really expensive for what they are. Like, I think, yeah, this one is going to be 120 to 130 USD, depending on the retailer you go through. And these are not easy to find if you're in the States. Like, you got to straight up go to Japanese websites to order these things most of the time. But, it does look really beautiful. Like I'm not the hugest Tiga fan. I haven't watched the show yet even, but I look at this and I go, that is a heckin' good figure of an Ultraman, no matter what you feel about the design.
Yeah, I really like Tiga's design, and I have seen I haven't finished it yet, but I've seen a good chunk of it. So, you know.
Well, speaking of figures, let's get
Oh
into
God,
the yearly Tokusatsu fan pain dosage, because all the exclusives for this year's Tamashii Nations have been announced. And if you're not aware, Tamashii Nations is basically the big Bandai collector convention slash showcase that happens every year in Japan, except for the last couple of years because of human malware. But that's one of the many terms I use to say the thing without saying the thing, because we can get demonetized for saying the thing.
oh yeah, okay, yeah, continue.
But basically, it's Bandai going like, "Hey, here's all the figure arts we put out in the last couple of years, and here's a bunch of new ones we are developing or coming out very soon." It's kind of like their own little miniature toy fair. And every year, there's a bunch of exclusive SH figure arts to that event. A lot of people, and like a lot of the really cool forms that aren't necessarily essential to your basic collection for a show end up getting figure arts in this method. Like my most sought after one recently is Shining Hopper from Kamen Rider Zero One was a Tamashii Nations exclusive,
Ooh,
and
that hurts.
I every few months I get a craving for that thing, and then I go and I look at the price tag and I go, maybe next year we'll see. But the exclusives for this year are going to be as followed. Zenkaiser Black, Jack Revice, Kamen Rider Old #1, meaning the original colors, the kind of blue and Kamen Rider Old #1, meaning the original colors, the kind of blue and black suits,
Yeah.
and Evil Trigger. I have various feelings about these. Like, obviously, I'm not the biggest figure arts guy in the world, but figure arts is like the easiest way to get highly articulated versions of a lot of tokusatsu characters. So, Evil Trigger, I honestly don't care about. The fact that that's an exclusive does not bother me at all, even though it comes with option parts for Zet. But it's just like I could take or leave that figure even if it wasn't an exclusive. Old #1, I'm not gonna lie, kind of hurts because that's my favorite design for Hongo. I love those early episodes where he's got the kind of off-looking suit.
And
But
apparently that's like new parts. They didn't just remold a figure. They actually like made new like molding.
I think you mean repaint because new molding is new parts.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like basically, they didn't repaint it. They just remolded like the whole thing, which is
Yeah.
hopefully gets a retail release eventually. Maybe.
Oh God, I want it so bad because I had the original version of Old Hongo for a little bit. I had to sell it because I hit on hard times, but it's such a beautiful suit design, and
Yeah.
Shinshoku Seiho, which is what this basically is, looks great. Zenkaiser Black, I'm kind of two minds of because on the one hand, it's like, well, I guess that's not essential if you're collecting either Zenkaiger or Don Brothers, but it's still a cool looking suit, and I can imagine a lot of people would want it.
Me.
Jack Revice is straight up bullshit that's an exclusive. Like, I feel the same way about it that I do Shining Hopper. Like, that's one of the coolest forms in the show. It's from a pivotal arc. So to lock it behind the show exclusive wall really sucks.
And it also has stamps and items that you probably will want for your Revice figures, so that's even scummier.
Yeah. But they've been doing that with all the Revice figure arts. Like, they've all come with additional parts for Revi.
Yeah, but like this is like I feel like this is even more so like feel extra scummy because this is the expensive exclusive. So, oh man, the Jack Revice and Zenkaiser Black one hurts the most. Old #1, I'm like I get why that's exclusive, but that's still kind of bad. Evil Trigger is like that's a fine exclusive, you know.
Yeah, like Evil Trigger really works because it's a movie baddie who is barely a character. Like, not a lot of people are gonna want that. It's
also a repaint.
Mm-hmm. And the people who will want it are the people who are going to be willing to pay that exclusive price tag for it. Like, it's. I always feel this way about exclusives. Like, I like them when it's something that feels like it should be an exclusive, in that it's not necessarily essential, but it's a cool extra thing to get for your collection. Like, I remember years back when they did the SH Figure Arts Armored Mighty Morphin Black, and everybody is like, "This is bullshit! I can't believe that's an SDCC exclusive. I want that, and now it's going to be crazy expensive." And I'm like, "That's literally in one episode for like 5 minutes. That's a perfect exclusive."
Yeah. Should we move on? I think we got like all of that out of our system.
Yeah, let's get into some proper Revice news, which is
more premium Bandai bullshit.
yeah. So I think everybody kind of knew this was going to happen because it didn't come out at the same time as the movie, but the DX Chimera driver and Juuga unit has gone up on Premium Bandai, and it's going to be exactly what it says on the tin. It's the Chimera driver, but with option parts to make it either Chimera and Juuga, and it's going to be Premium Bandai exclusive, and it's arguably overpriced.
Yeah, I mean it's basically just like the Revi driver, just more mechanical.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it is a new sculpt, but it works very similarly.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't know. I mean, I honestly, out of everything, like Revice, this is like I can buy this being a premium Bandai, but this just stings more because a lot of Revice items have been premium Bandai.
Also, I just checked with the Google converter, and it's going to be roughly $75 US, which is
around the same as like Hana's driver.
Yeah, which honestly, for this, that feels a little more justified because Honest Driver like does one or two things. This is for multiple different writers.
Yeah, fair. This is like I can buy this, but what I can't buy
is the DX ViStamp set 04, which is basically going to be the rest of the ViStamps for the Heisei writers, because they've done a couple of these because they just stopped doing that after Revice got his first real upgrade, which it didn't bother me at the time, but now I think about it, the fact that they stopped doing anniversary shit like 20 episodes into the 50th anniversary show is kind of lame. But now
I
we've
mean,
got...
like, remember when I pitched that one of the power-ups could be like Showa riders? Like,
but now we've got the Vice stamps for Blade, Drive, Kabuto, and Ghost, which are a crab, an octopus, a eel, I think that's supposed to be, and
serpent.
Serpent and a rhinoceros, respectively.
Oh, it's centipede.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, because I know you feel this way, Buster. I've seen a lot of people complaining that like these make absolutely no sense. The animals don't match up with the riders at all. If you go back and look, the Vice stamps never really matched up with the riders. It's just kind of random bullshit.
This is just like a symptom of a larger problem.
Mm-hmm. And this set of 4 Vice stamps is going to be $50 USD, roughly speaking, which feels pretty scummy to me. Like this is like a $25 to $30 set in my mind. But yeah. I'm not the bean counter at Bandai, so what do I know?
This is just a symptom of a larger. Half the items of Revice have been premium Bandai.
Yeah.
Did you see that chart?
Yeah, I did see that chart. Hopefully they pump the brakes on that for Geats.
And, but there's a part of me that's like, okay, maybe this was the 50th anniversary and they were trying to appeal more to adult audience, or maybe this is just an experiment, and we already know rider sales are down, so hopefully they pump the brakes.
I mean, my guess, if I were to play devil's advocate and like say, what is this company thinking? It might have been like their sales got hit from the human malware period of time, because not a lot of people could go to stores like they used to be able to be, and they saw maybe an uptick in online sales, and they said, okay, let's pivot to our online store, and maybe that's backfired now that the human malware isn't as much of a thing.
Yeah. And even then, you should have, you could only buy these at Bandai unless you go through, like, a middleman.
Yeah, you can't go to... It's not... Like, the thing is, it's not been like, here's a premium Bandai exclusive, here's an Amazon Japan exclusive, here's a Mandarake exclusive. It's all been premium Bandai, which I somewhat get because you want to keep it in the company, but like Hasbro has Hasbro Pulse, and not all of their exclusives are Hasbro Pulse exclusives. They do like a handful of Hasbro exclusives a year.
Yeah. Speaking of Hasbro...
Yeah, let's get into Power Rangers news, because we've actually got a fair bit of that this week, which is very fitting because we're now well into August. Power Week is actually next week, which is fairly exciting.
Yeah.
And to go along with that, I guess, we've got episode descriptions for the first 2 episodes of Power Rangers Dino Fury Season 2 Part 2, which are episodes 12 and 13, and I'm just going to go ahead and read those off. Episode 12 is Ultimate Mystery. When Jane vetoes a Buzz Blast story on Bigfoot, Amelia tells Stan and Annie to bend the rules and do it anyway. But when her colleagues end up in danger, Amelia learns an important lesson about responsibility.
I guess my favorite Power Rangers characters, Stan and Annie.
I mean, Stan's at least kind of established. They said his name a few times, and he's in the background of like every Buzz Blast scene.
Oh my god, they've been building to this!
I guess so. But like, Annie's probably going to be a one-off character, and she's probably mainly going to serve as a vehicle for the lesson of the week, I bet.
Yeah. Now this one's interesting.
Episode 13, Love Hate. Ollie tries to ask Amelia out, but a miscommunication leads to Amelia thinking he doesn't like her. But when she realizes Lord Zed is involved, the truth comes out.
This does feel like a very Lord Zed scheme. Like old classic Lord Zed scheme.
Lord Zed's main motivation being to make the Rangers feel bad.
Yeah.
Which was a thing a lot in MMPR. Like he came in and he was like, I'm going to destroy the Green Ranger. all right, I kind of did that. Now let me just fuck with the Rangers repeatedly.
Yeah, just like honestly, I kind of like how like a lot of Dino Fury to me is like kind of like it's playing with the idea of MMPR, but in like a modern setting,
Yeah.
uh, and like a much more entertaining in my opinion. But that's just me.
I also find it funny that it seems like episode 12 is just like a regular kind of lesson of the week episode, and then episode 13 they immediately put their foot on the gas and like, let's get into the final arc.
Yeah, I guess. All right. I thought he was
like,
gonna come into like the Christmas episode, but I guess he's here already.
I did like part of me suspected Zed might be the actual final boss, but then there's and then like Ollie and Amelia getting together is something that I was like, I could see it happening or not happening, and if it does happen, it'll probably be like mainly in the finale. But like this is well before the finale, so that's super interesting. And it also makes me wonder, maybe episode 12 should have been the last episode of part 1, and episode 13 should be the first one, because like,
yeah,
I mean, it doesn't necessarily track, given that this is Netflix, so we'll get all the episodes at once and you can just binge them. But like, if this was still airing on regular TV, new episode every week, I'd make episode 13 the premiere, because it feels like a lot's going on and it gets exciting.
yeah, like a nice status quo shift.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of things getting shifted,
Well, there's not shifting, but there's certainly an emergency, because SPD is now on YouTube, or at least the first 6 episodes. The Power Rangers Twitter now been putting stuff up on the channel for a long time, and
it's
they finally.
YouTube, you mean?
Did I say Twitter?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just kind of bumbling through my words. I apologize, but they finally got to the best season, SPD, or at least my childhood favorite. Which, if you don't like, apparently it causes a major kerfuffle on Twitter. But no, I think SPD is really good. I think, despite some things that aren't exactly culturally appropriate today, there's a lot of cool lessons and commentary on certain social elements within the show, and I'm super hyped to one day do a video about it. It's one of those videos that's just been in the back of my head simmering my entire career, and one day I'm gonna be like, it's finally done. I can put this sauce over the meat that is my channel.
Nice.
So if you want to get prepped for that, definitely go watch SPD, because it's now easier to get a hold of than ever before.
And they'll be dropping episodes every week from now on.
Yeah.
Until like they done, and then we'll finally get to Mystic Force, which I've actually been interested. I might rewatch that while it airs. I don't know.
Yeah, I should I'll probably wait until I have to do a video on it, but I probably do need to rewatch Mystic Force at some point, because like, I remember being incredibly lukewarm on it, and I hated it as a kid. But like, I've heard so many positive things about it since that it probably deserves another shot.
Yeah, I think like for me, what I remember is that it kind of got cut a bit short. Like this was like the seasons where it's like this is the season where it's like 32 episodes or bust, and it's like, man, I wish we could have 32 episodes again. No,
but now let's get into a little bit of Power Morphicon related news. And before we do, I want to go ahead and just put out a disclaimer. I don't like Power Morphicon very much. I don't like a lot of the people that run it. My experience with the convention is no longer a happy memory for me. Mainly and like, those vlogs are no longer on my channel, not just because I'm trying to focus on tokusatsu video essays, but because it features a lot of footage of me talking to people who you couldn't pay me to be in the same room with anymore. There's plenty of information out there on how the conventions are just really disorganized, and furthermore, I just don't like Scott Zellner as a person. I think he's a bit of an asshole, and I'm of the opinion that he owes me some money because of the way a certain thing went down for PMC 6. But that's a story for another day. The story for today is that the YouTube channel MMPRToys will be attending the convention as guests, and they are going to have a panel, and they are going to be discussing Power Rangers toys, and there will be a special announcement from Hasbro. I don't believe they've said what the actual day of it will be, but PMC is the 26th or the 28th, and I would be willing to bet it's either going to be Saturday or Sunday because like those are going to be the biggest days to put out news for Power Rangers. And I'm also fairly interested in what it's going to be because I like I know there's people who are like, oh, it could be like a revision to the Lightning Collection. I think we're probably going to get an announcement of like a new figure in the Lightning Collection because if you remember a few years back they did they were involved in the Power Morphicon Online event that happened one of the years they couldn't do PMC because of human malware. And during that portion of the event, that's where the Cogs 2-pack got first revealed. So I think we're probably going to see something like that, like probably some kind of deluxe Pulse exclusive item for the Lightning Collection will be revealed there. But who knows? I could be wrong. They could announce a whole wave of Lightning Collection. Maybe they could even announce Season 30. There's literally no specifications on what they're going to announce except special announcement from Hasbro. But it's something to keep track of, something to look out for. And something else to look out for is apparently we're going to be getting Lightning Collection Dino Fury Blue sooner rather than later because PMC also listed their event posters, which are given out in the goodie bags you get at the door when you pick up your membership. And one of the posters, which I believe is for the basic membership, it's for people who get the red, gold, and platinum memberships. You will be getting one of two posters of Tom Whalen's artwork that adorns the Lightning Collection boxes. And on one of the posters, which is a collage of Power Rangers, displayed very prominently is Dino Fury Blue. And he's the one person in this poster that hasn't had a Lightning Collection figure yet. And according to Josh Living Ranger Key, some of his sources have been throwing around various names for potential future waves of the Lightning Collection, and one of those names is Dino Fury Blue. And unless Whalen just drafts up full teams whenever Hasbro commissions art from him, this basically confirms that we're getting Ollie sooner rather than later, which is pretty cool. I'm fairly excited for it. The Dino Fury Red was a solid figure, and I know Ollie has a lot of fans, so this one will probably sell fairly well.
Yeah. Although, like, even if we don't like Power Morphicon, can we acknowledge the hand-drawn posters that they have of all the Red Rangers are pretty cool? Especially like this one, because it has the max mode for Resoldier.
Oh yeah, the main one you just get with any membership.
Yeah.
That's fairly solid. I think that's drawn by the same guy who does all of their event posters, because that's
Tsuyoshi Nonaka. His art is great. I really like seeing it like whenever possible.
Yeah, I actually think if you look in the background of most of Megaforce Sucks, because I recorded that just after I recorded a lot of that shortly after PMC 5. You can actually see all the PMC 5 event posters in the background because I
think I saw that. Like it was like was it when Dino Charge was announced?
I think it was the year Dino Charge was airing.
Oh, okay, so Ninja Steel was probably in the poster.
Yeah, that's right. Because like one of the few good memories I still have from PMC is that's the year where at the Dino Charge panel they surprised Yoshi Sudarso with the announcement that Peter Sudarso was going to be the Blue Ranger in Ninja Steel.
Yeah, that was a wholesome moment. I've seen that clip.
I was maybe 20 feet away from Yoshi Sudarso when that happened.
Oh, that's wholesome.
Yeah. That was good energy. That was a good time. But that is all the news that's fit to print for this week. Let's go ahead and get into some new releases. Buster, take us away.
All right, Ultraman Decker episode special: The Return of Modular. I don't know where I was going with that last one.
Yeah. So I know you didn't watch this. I did watch this because even though it's basically a clip show, there are a few new scenes in it, and they mainly involve, obviously, Maru, the alien side character from Trigger, who is voiced by Mao, who's one of my favorite Japanese voice actresses. Not just because she's Luca from Gokaiger, but because I think she's genuinely very talented. And so I was like, a little bit of new Mao content. Sure, I'll sit through this, especially because I'm already predisposed to liking Decker and its footage. And It's not entirely disposable. There is some cool like technical information you get about the various vehicles and fighters and stuff in this. But if you've not been following it, you may also get a little lost because this like references stuff from the Trigger recap specials. Because apparently the the engineer character that's in this, Hota, I think his name is, and Marlu, like apparently they worked together to design the Nardese and the Guts Falcon before Trigger, and the previous recap specials like were telling that story, and then this is like him basically explaining to Marlu like, here's how I made the upgrades to those things for Decker, and here's how I designed the Guts Griffin and all that kind of stuff, or Guts Hawk, sorry.
Is this like in universe or production?
It's in universe.
Oh, okay.
But it's not essential. It's just like if you're a super nerd who likes those kind of cool technical details in anime and stuff like that, it's worth checking out. But otherwise, wholly skippable.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we already know Decker's finished filming, so maybe they're just taking a week off to work on some special effects for later episodes. So,
I mean, if that's what it takes to get us those tasty ass effects you get in Ultraman these days, I'm willing and ready.
Yeah, I could take a week off. Okay, now for possibly the final bit of O's content we'll ever get in our lives. Kamen Rider O's 10th anniversary, Kamen Rider Birth, Birth X, Secret Birth.
I fucking love this.
Yeah, same. It's so good.
Because it's just this is what I want from anniversary specials, man. Like Tengo Kaiger is fucking great. It's amazing how they managed to tell like a really good story that just feels like a new episode of the show. But like this is just the actors goofing off for 20 minutes and it's glorious.
Yeah, it's so very charming, I'd say. It just like, and it's like, just like, it feels like, I do like O's 10th anniversary as opposed to you, but like, I do think it could have used a bit more character interaction. And like, this basically kind of fills that quota.
Yeah. And I love just the fact that even though this is basically a comedy special, because the plot is Goto tests out the Burfex driver and gets transported to an alternate universe where Hina and Uva are the protagonists.
Which is hilarious.
What's her face? The lady who runs the restaurant. She's
Kiyotaka, I think. Let me check.
Sure. She's Birth.
Yeah,
and
which is
so
pretty funny.
This is the universe where women are common writers more often than not.
Yeah,
And
it's great.
it's not that inherently is not played for comedy. It's just like this is what's going on, and it's more like it's more like Goto's befuddlement at being in an alternate universe in general is the joke.
Yeah.
And
Just
I
like these
really
character
appreciate it.
interactions, just these genuine character interactions between like it kind of feels like old friends coming together to just like reenact old times, you know?
Yeah, and seeing Hina like basically pushing around Uva like a little shit
Yeah,
was like,
that's a great character dynamic.
I want to live in this timeline. I want to go to the timeline where there's the version of O's, the full show with Hina as the main character. I think that could be really fun.
Yeah, I feel like the best alternate universe stories will like the peak will just make you want to be like, oh, I want a full show of that, you know?
Yeah. And like
Oh, it was
even
Shioka,
going
by the way. Shioka.
okay.
Shiyoko?
But then there was also great jokes, like when you find out that the thing in this continuity that the Greed are fighting over is they all want to be Hina's partner.
Yeah, it kind of gives off Deno vibes of the whole like imagined like kind of like bossing around Ryotaro.
Mhm. But no, this was great. I fucking loved Date's actor mugging for
Date,
the
he was
camera.
so good. Like he basically just plays the president, and he's like super hilarious.
Yeah, you get the feeling that like that's an impression of that other actor he's had in his back pocket for years.
Yeah, and like legit, I kind of want to see him do like another Kamen Rider role, like kind of like how they did Otoya to Grease, just later on. I don't know.
Yeah, and the joke with Edgy's actor where he's like, "Oh, that greed is taking over my brother. That greed's taking over my other brother. Mezul is taking over my sister. Oh, that guy's just some homeless dude."
It's great. Just so many. It's so fun, and like honestly, it feels like it's a nice cap off to O's if this is the last bit of O's content we get for the foreseeable future.
Because, like, O's has heavy moments, but I generally think of it as, like, a light, fun show.
Yeah, I mean, like I do think like its strongest moments are the heavier stuff, but like it's generally like fun. The fun character dynamics are what defined it. Yeah.
So, if this is the last time we see most of this cast, which, I could see Edgy's actor coming back for some more Tysons down the line, but if this is the last time we see most of these people in Kamen Rider, I think it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, this is like we were worried about this, but like no, this was a genuine surprise and fun time.
So if you haven't checked this out, if you hated O's 10th anniversary like me, give this a shot. It's worth your time.
Yeah, it's only less than 20 minutes. Just nice, fun little anniversary shebangry. Still kind of weird how they built up Burfax and he barely did anything in the movie. Yes, I'm still salty about that.
It's literally just capitalizing on the fact that there's sounds in the O's driver they never used.
Yeah, which is a neat concept, but they could have used it more. Anyway, back on the modern Kamen Rider train, Kamen Rider Revice, episode 48, Proof Resolved. This is Japan's biggest busybody.
So I feel like this episode is really symptomatic of Revice as a whole.
Yeah, elaborate.
Because, there are some really strong moments in this episode, and there are a couple really funny moments in this episode, but then there's a lot of it, and a lot of the stuff that relates to the main overarching plot of the series just doesn't hit. It's not bad, it just didn't leave much of an impression on me. I just straight up don't care about Iki losing his memories.
Yeah, I wish they built that up more, or just had more emphasis, or just a bit more punch to it. Because it kind of feels like a side plot.
I saw people posting on Twitter "Ow, my heart," with screen caps of Iki forgetting who Daiji and Sakura are, and I'm like, honestly, I don't. It doesn't affect me because I'm like, well, either they're gonna undo it by the end of the series, or they'll just have a montage of him getting to know them again.
Yeah.
This only ends one of two ways because an amnesia plot never ends with somebody totally forgetting everybody.
And even then, that's not my problem. My problem is I just don't think it's as interesting as they're trying to make it out to be.
Which really sucks because otherwise Revice has been really good at building up family dynamics. Fucking getting into the meat of it, George this week, his shit really hit me in a place.
Oh yeah, same. Yeah, I was posted all over just saying, "Oh, I think George became my favorite Revice character after this arc."
Because I don't know if he's my favorite, but can I go on a bit of a tear?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
It's generally accepted that it's just a thing in most Toku shows that either the parents aren't there and are never talked about, have been dead for a long time, or they die at the beginning of the series and that affects a lot of the show, or the half of the plot of the show is, I'm trying to find my dad. This is VR Troopers. Dino Charge. Gavin. It's that shit. There's very few shows that really do stuff with parents and there's almost never been a dead parent plot that has really resonated with me. We all know I have a huge disdain towards Kamen Rider Ghost. And whenever I talk about that, one of the first things people come back to me with is, but the debut of Boost form is so good. His daddy comes down from the side and hugs him, and it's like they're fighting together. My tears, man. My fucking tears. And I'm like, okay, fair, but I'm not spiritual in the slightest. I don't believe in any of that shit. If my parent is dead, that's it. They're gone. To me, they are I can't ever talk to them again. They're a pile of bones in a box that's 6 feet under the ground. There's nothing you could say that could convince me or make me tear up at the idea of they're looking down smiling at you or they're fighting alongside you. That scene in Ghost feels so trite and it's trying way too hard to get you to be emotional. But this episode, where we see George like trying to have this veneer of being like, fucking stupid old man. He was an idiot, and I'm gonna surpass him in every way, and I'm gonna destroy his legacy so my own can shine even brighter. And then Iki comes at him with all the bullshit of like, no, your dad loved you, and everything he did was for you, and he's still fighting for you from beyond the grave. And then he snaps out of it, and he doesn't have that, oh yeah, that's right, my daddy did love me moment. He just gets really fucking pissed off, and he's like, God damn it, why did my dad have to die? There was so much more I wanted to say to him. We could have connected as adults, as actual friends and peers. I never got to say all this stuff to him, and I'm so fucking mad about it. That got me to tear up a little bit, because that's how I feel about my dad's recent death. Sometimes. Like, it's not all the time. You don't have to at me on Twitter and be like, you good, bro? But, like, occasionally there will be those moments where I'm like, son of a bitch, I never got to ask him about this. And, like, it's like, on the surface, you just have that, like, oh, shit, that sucks. But deep down, there's just that roiling torrent of anger about, like, I had all this stuff I wanted to say to you, and I couldn't because we were in the midst of so much bullshit for the last couple of years of your life. And seeing that contextualized in media helped me understand that about myself a little more. And that's why I love Kamen Rider. That's why I love tokusatsu. That's why I love superheroes. That's why I love art, because you can get those moments. So, like, it really elevated this episode for me, that final scene where George is just screaming.
I gotta follow up that.
Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. No, I knew you were gonna have stuff to say about this, good or bad. Yeah, that honestly, that kind of hit me too. And even like it just made me realize, oh, like it was more of a friendship thing for me because, but just that kind of thing of like you just cherish that time you have, and like, or just like some things just don't work. You just can't say everything. You just gotta break down. And like, as someone with like major anger issues in his life, it just it hit for the entire arc. These last two episodes really hit for me in terms of just like George kind of raging, like just raging at everything, just confused, and it really hit at a perfect place for me. And that's like, and it's just like, I was like, I like George. I thought it was funny. But like, this episode really cemented him as like, yeah, this is a great character. He might be a bit inconsistent, but I feel like they already established him as like a wild card early on in the show.
Oh yeah.
So I could really buy his like turn of and it just, I do feel like even without the movie, which people were saying, oh, we won't know the full context about this till the movie. No, you can still glean, like, you can still like get a good chunk of like what this arc is about without having watched the movie. We haven't watched it, and like we're like, we love this, so yeah. Yeah.
And that's the thing about Revice as a whole. I feel like we've still got 2 episodes left, so my opinion could alter slightly, but like, I feel like Revice is just like this roller coaster of like the blandest, most basic Kamen Rider shit, punctuated by like really good family drama and the occasional like laugh out loud moments, because like there's some great like facial comedy from Hiromi and Iki in this episode too.
Yeah.
That bit when they find the door.
Yeah. Like for me, I wouldn't say it's bland. It's more like the fundamentals, like, of Kamen Rider, I think is the better word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will be using that word a lot in my review. Fundamentals, like, it's more like the bare bones, like, it has a bit of like, but like when like you get to the meaty part, it's super meaty. But like, I wish that meat was like all over the steak instead of in that instead of a few specific parts.
Yeah,
it's to be pretentious for the analogy.
Revice put this quote on the Blu-ray, Toei: needed better sauce distribution. 7 out of 10.
Yeah, 7 out of 10 seems pretty decent for the show. I feel, I also kind of love how we have like 3 different endings so far. It kind of reminds me of Double.
I was about to say yeah, but then my brain went, you haven't seen Double, dumbass.
Yeah, you just picked up that very handy viewer guide for Double.
Yeah, I wasn't joking. I'm putting that in my back pocket for when I do eventually watch Double.
Nice.
Because one thing that does irk me about watching old Toku is you always have to like have a night before you can actually start the show of digging through the wiki to find out where all the movies fit into continuity.
That's more like for 2000s, like post 2000s too.
True,
Toku.
but even Showa era stuff has like a handful of movies that are just bonus episodes.
Yeah, I just skip those unless like they mention them like in the show. I'm like, oh, I guess I gotta go watch it, you know. But that's just me. Cause yeah. All right, donbrothers time. Avatar Sentai Donbrothers, episode 24, an ensemble son.
This was like a solid episode. Not extremely great, but like just kind of what I expect from Dom Brothers. Nothing more, nothing less.
Okay, as someone who's wholeheartedly in love with this show, this is a good episode, but it kind of feels a bit weak after we came from a whole bunch of bangers, in my opinion. So, it kind of just feel like we're going through the motions, going through the motions. It's good. I like the drama with the it's very funny how Momotaro has to basically pretend to be this woman's son, and then like the end with the twist of the monster, which was kind of predictable, but like very wholesome. And yeah, it just kind of feels like a basic episode to like kind of like bridge the gap into like bigger because there was a quote from Shirakura about how like a lot of the Sentai episodes that air in the summer are supposed to progress the plot too much. Apparently because like kids are out of school and like sometimes they might want to sleep in. That's what he said, not me. So it's like this feels like the most summary Don Brothers like to Shirakura's description.
Also, it just hit me while you were saying that. The theme of superhero time this week was fucking parental issues.
Yeah, it basically was. We had one daddy issue and one mommy issue.
Yeah, because like I do you like that they keep it vague? Or like, do you think it should have been more explicit that the monster was the actual son?
I like that's vague. I mean, Inoue is a kind of a vague kind of guy, so you know it's kind of expected for him.
Yeah, I guess so. I was just like during that final shot where you see him come home and her face is covered by flowers. I'm like, it's still so obviously her. I don't know why you covered her face.
Maybe they just didn't have the actor on set, so
I guess that's possible. But how quickly did you figure it out? By the way, because like
as soon as he said, "I am looking for something in life."
Okay, so like right when he showed up.
Yeah.
At the point when the Dom brothers actually start fighting him, that's when it hit me. It took me like an extra second.
Yeah.
Because I was like, wait, they haven't shown his face and he's already fighting them. Oh shit, this guy is the actual son. And I dead-ass thought until they defeated him, I was like, he's gonna get destroyed, and then we're gonna see he's played by the same actor as Dom Momotaro.
Oh, that would be funny. He would do that. No, he would totally do that. Also, this basically marks nearly the halfway point of the show, kind of.
That'll be next week, yeah. Damn.
Yeah, or like basically like more than halfway. Like, because I'm not sure how many episodes Don Brothers will have by the end.
It's crazy. It feels like a lot of stuff is like I know people have been saying this about life in general lately, but this year it feels like a lot of Toku stuff is flying by.
Yeah, I mean, like, Dog Henger's High School finally got subbed, even though it was so slow. Like, with the last episode, like, they released 11 episodes subbed, then removed it, then the final episode had to be subbed by fans. I don't know what was going on there. But yeah, it's just been a weird kind of it's just crazy. Revice is about to end, like, and then we're moving on to Geats.
Though I gotta admit, Geats does feel like it's been taking its time to get here just because we've been covering the announcements so heavily.
Yeah, I totally see that. Like, Revice kind of snuck up on us, but like, well, then again, we weren't covering a Kamen Rider show at the time, besides like me watching Saber. So yeah, just man, oh god, we've been doing this show for nearly 2 years by the end of this year.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Like a lot of Toku podcasts don't make it past like a year and a half, so we're doing all right.
Yeah, we're doing all right. But yeah, Dog Brothers was good. Probably won't be a too memorable episode compared to the last few, but you know, you gotta have some like solid B tier episodes, so like the A tiers can feel even more A. You know?
Yeah, well, like I said, it's not a bad episode. It just feels like a very standard episode.
Yeah, well, the Dog Brothers standard, that could mean anything.
It means it's very funny, but nothing significant happens.
Yeah. Or like there's not really that big of an emotional beat. I mean, there was like an emotional moment, but like
the way everybody quits filling in for the son,
was
pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Like
also, Kijino basically going like "my miho," like basically like in like his ear to tell.
And giving us some backstory details about him I didn't think we were ever going to get, that apparently he has a lot of mommy issues.
Yeah. I mean, like, he is getting a focus episode next week, so...
I don't know if they're going to delve into that. I feel like that's mostly just going to be, like, jokes about being a Japanese salaryman.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, no, I like that. And the moment where Haruka's idea of helping is just to say, like, yeah, I'm the girlfriend.
Oh, dang it. I didn't like that because it gave the creepy Haruka Momotaro shippers fuel, and I'm like, stop it. No. Bad.
I'm not surprised that's a thing, but I was unaware that was a thing until just now.
Yeah, good point. Anyway, want to talk about some classic shit?
Sure, I'll do a little bit because you didn't have time to watch anything this week, which is totally fine. But
I've been holding myself back from watching Kabuto. I have episodes downloaded, but I'm trying to get some videos done before I start it.
Well, I watched the first 3 episodes of Kamen Rider Black RX, and I think everyone has that I've seen talk about this show is fairly correct from what I've seen so far. But I also think they've maybe been a bit too harsh, because the general opinion of Black RX is it's just not as good as Black, is it? But like, I watched it and I'm like, this is definitely a marked step down from Black, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's far from it, actually. Because it's definitely got a lighter tone. It feels weirdly Sentai-esque at times, because it's like, obviously it's a sequel series, so it can't be an evil organization that creates the rider that he's fighting. It's a bunch of fucking space cyborgs who are trying to take over Earth because it's basically the fucking Borg. They exploited all the resources on... No, not the Borg. They're the original Cybermen from Doctor Who, because they exploited all the resources on their planet and they gave themselves robot parts, and now they're coming to do the same thing to Earth because they need more resources. I think that's how the Mondas Cybermen mostly worked, if memory serves. But yeah, and like, honestly, only one of them has a design that's anywhere near as good as anything in Black. Like, if you've seen Masked Rider, you've seen the way these guys look. I don't know what their names are outside of, like, I think the main baddie in Masked Rider is Count Draven or something like that. But the one guy who I like is the guy who's basically just main Mook, because he just looks like an evil Kamen Rider with a big leather jacket. And the rest of them just don't look that great. They look like mid Showa Sentai villains, which is not a lot of great designs. And then the Black RX suit, honestly, like, I don't hate it, but I don't like the green. And I think the weird bug... I get it goes with the bug they're theming it after, but I hate the buck-toothedness of the helmet. Like, if you had just given it, like, the same kind of mouth design that Black had, and maybe made the suit more black than green, it would have been a fine-looking suit. Because I do like the spiffy little RX logo on one of the pecs. I like the double Kingstone belts. The Revulcan is a really badass weapon. And I even dig Acrobatter, the redesigned Battle Hopper, but the other things about the designs just don't exactly thrill me. And I also think it was kind of annoying how they basically fake you out in the beginning with free, like, Monster of the Week characters who look like new versions of the priests from Black, and you're like, oh, are those the baddies? And then Black smokes them, or RX smokes them within, like, the second episode. And it's like, no, these are the actual leaders of the Crisis Empire. And on top of that, there's also just, like, generally a lighter tone in the daily stuff, because already Black's episode of the weeks didn't have, like, a hugely dramatic tone most of the time, because of the just inherent Showa-ness of Kid of the Week. But this, it's made even more so because Kotaro is now living with his aunt and uncle, who have 2 kids, who are all, like, the age of the Toku Kid of the Week usually is, and they have a bunch of friends. which in one sense is kind of smart because it makes it easier to have Kids of the Week without it being like Kotaro just instantly befriends this kid he just met. But it also makes it feel a little more like you can't have as much drama as you did in Black because half the cast is tiny children. And also they gave Kotaro a girlfriend. They don't say their boyfriend girlfriend, but they very clearly are because Showa is just weird that way sometimes.
Love interest. It's called love interest.
But like a love interest implies that they're will they won't they. These two are clearly dating. Like they have couples pendants.
Ah, okay.
Clearly dating. Like they have couples pendants.
Ah, okay.
And also between Black and Black RX, Kotaro got his pilot's license and he's now working as a helicopter pilot. So like there's just all this shit that makes it feel like you're just adding stuff on to make it more of like a family show than Black was, which instantly makes it feel not as exciting as Black did. And again, not all of it is essentially bad. It's just it's different, and there's some tonal dissonance between it and the first season. And you can kind of see how like this led to Ryder going dormant for a few years. But
also that and the parody show, what's it called?
Kamen Rider SD or something
Not
like that.
SD. It was like it was the unofficial parody.
Oh yeah, that's right. I haven't thought about that thing in ages. I don't know what that's called.
Echo no Kamen? Oh wait, maybe I'm thinking it was something else. It was like Kamen something. Oh, you keep talking. We'll find it.
Tell us what it is in the comments, everybody. But I do think the action is fairly solid. The effects feel like a slight downgrade. Like there's a lot of 80s green screen in these first episodes. I'm sorry?
Kamen no Rider.
Okay. Yeah, I probably should watch that at some point.
I don't even think it's subbed, but I hope it does get subbed eventually.
Yeah, somebody should sub that. Whoever is not subbing Geats, but normally would sub Rider, sub that instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think the fights are fairly well done. It's just like a lot of the like we're trying to wow you with special effects in the first episode. Here's Kotaro flying for the cosmos, and it just looks like an episode of 80s Doctor Who where they're filling for time. I do like I talked about the opening last week. I'm trying to think about shit I haven't said so far because I've been going for a minute now. The ending is
ending, yeah.
The ending is definitely a step down. Lonely Heart is not a bad song, but it's like, how can you possibly fucking top Long, Long Ago 20th Century? Like, they clearly didn't even try. Oh yeah, that's right. In the plot of the third episode is kind of fucking crazy because Kotaro gets transported to the planet the Crisis Empire is originally from, and you see it's just like a desert wasteland where the few people who haven't submitted to being Crisis cyborgs are just being forced to dig for minerals.
Oh, so that's where that comes from in Masked Rider.
Yeah, I was about to say it's literally where all the stock footage from A Friend in Need comes from. There's like several shots that I was like, oh, I remember that from Power Rangers.
I was mostly the pilot episode because I have watched episodes of Masked Rider. I think like 10 out of 40. So
yeah, and I don't know if they something fell in the background. I don't know if they used him for stock footage, but there's a guy who looks a lot like King Lexian, and he's basically He's basically, I was the top scientist on this world, but I rebelled against the Crisis Empire, and so now I'm being forced to work until I die. Here, Kotaro, take this floppy disk with my designs for the ultimate super machine back to Earth and use that to fight the Crisis Empire. And you find out from the preview, it's Rideron. And I was like, damn, Rideron is this early? That's interesting. Because I've known about Rideron for a long time, but I've never seen it in action, either in Masked Rider or in this, obviously. Like, the closest I've gotten is the handful of shots a CG model of it is in Tyson GP. So I'm excited to see how it actually looks in action, because I think it's fairly safe to say Rideron is a dumb-looking design. Like, it's not a great-looking car. I don't know how the toys have been sold, but I can't imagine very well. And it's probably why we didn't get Cars and Rider for a very long time after that.
Until Drive.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's everything I have to say about RX.
Yeah.
Overall, like, again, it's not a great show. It's probably not a show you need to watch, but I'm gonna keep going with it. I'll watch it the whole way through, and I'll say anything interesting as I have them to say on this show.
Yeah, I mean, you got to like, you got kind of a deadline now, October 28th. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Shit,
so,
we are getting close. We're about due for another Black Sun trailer, aren't we?
yeah. Like, I think next month we'll get a Black Sun trailer, and it'll be like the releasing, and then we'll get some like footage of the monsters and more of the suit. So
Sign up for Amazon Prime now, bitches.
yeah, I already have it. So I'll let you. I'll give you the
Shit.
code soon.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, can I borrow your password?
When the episode actually airs.
Fair enough. Yeah, unless there's anything else, which I don't think there is.
Yeah, I didn't watch any episodes.
We
Yeah.
made it through the whole episode without any hiss tank shrieks, but Jesus, it's currently at 25,132 backers with 2 hours left to go. So yeah, that's really good for a HasLab. But yeah, guys, I think that's everything for this week in Tokusatsu, and also a little bit of this week in G.I. Joe, I guess. We'll see you back here for whatever happens next week in Tokusatsu.